how is
Normally should be sunnier, but well, if you are working, better like this. So the weekend hopefully will be nice weather. You know, it's always happening the same. When you are working, it's nice weather, and then during the weekend it's awful. So hopefully this week will be the opposite way.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm actually going. It's a public holiday tomorrow in Catalonia, and I'm going to Asturias because I have some a baptizing of my nephew, and the weather, as far as I know, is terrible in Asturias. So I'm so disappointed because I don't know what to wear. So problems. First of all,
To be nice, Tanya, you might actually be bringing the nice weather, because June has been. Haven't seen a June this rainy for a long time.
So, I hope to bring nice weather.
Nice,
I
hope
you're right.
Today, so maybe you'll have.
My daughter was in an excursion with the school, and they went to Asturias, and it was raining every single day. So it was 1 week ago. She was quite disappointed, but she really loved what she saw in Asturias. So
definitely,
that's the normal welcome to Asturias. The first one is all the time raining, because we want you to come back when it's sunny. So.
Right.
Okay, so we have people from different locations.
Yes, I think we have. So we have already 61 people on the call, which is great. We have a lot of empathy people. We have some external people. So an amazing list. Some people are showing their cameras, others are not, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is the first in the series that we are kicking off. So basically, Elevate Women is a series of events that is aimed at amplifying women's voices and experiences to inspire confidence and change. We believe that experience is very important, but also kind of the field knowledge and the emotion that you bring to the table. All of that is very, very important, and we want to create awareness and to provide some visibility so that help. These experiences can help lift women through the glass ceiling and towards their goals. And today I have the honor of welcoming Esther Lucena here with me. Welcome, Esther. Thank you so much for joining us. Esther is leading partner sales at Adobe for Western Europe. So I will actually ask Esther to introduce herself a little bit better. And Esther, I would like to ask you, how do you define yourself in 3 words, and who are you in this world?
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to be here today. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and hopefully my experience can inspire you somehow. So coming back to your question, Tanya, who I am, I will start saying who I am, and I will try you to find those 3 words, and I mean with the audiences, how you will think those 3 words will be. So starting from the beginning, I was born in the south of Spain, in Granada. At the age of 17, I think I took one of my most difficult decisions in life, who was leaving my parents' house to go to Madrid. I wanted to become someone international. I was always attracted by different culture. So I knew in Madrid I was going to have more possibilities about that. I moved to Madrid to go to university, and then I started my life in Madrid, let's say. I was looking for international jobs, and I wanted to meet different cultures, and I also wanted to be fluent in different languages, which I have managed most of it, except my strong accent in Spanish. So you already noticed that when I speak any language, you can really see that I'm from the south of Spain. So then I started to join some international, after university, I started to take some international roles, also including some period that I was living and based in London. Then I got married with an Italian in Italy, Finally, we decided to come back to Madrid. Currently, I'm a happy mother of 2 children. I can say I'm lucky because I'm living a life of joy and fulfillment. I love traveling a lot with my family and visiting relatives, friends, spending time with people. It's really my hobby. And I'm doing my best in every single day in order to keep that life-work balance. I've been working most of my time in software vendor, like Oracle, SaaS, bank. I've always been covering customer-facing roles because of my character. I like those kind of roles. So I've been moving from direct sale to partner sale to consulting. I'm currently working at Adobe, as Tania was mentioning, as Western Europe head of partner sales. Our mission as Adobe is change the world through digital experience. And I'm really proud to work in a company like Adobe, where we have very strong principle about diversity, equity, and inclusion. You will see during the time that we are going to spend together that principle are really important for me. So we also have in Adobe many initiatives to promote high-performing women, and I think that's something that nowadays we see much more frequently in the companies. In general, I can say I'm a strong advocate of balance in all aspects of life. So I don't know if I can ask you in the chat to think about what are those 3 words that describe me, what I've been explaining you now. So I don't know, Tania, if we have a couple of seconds, 10 seconds,
Yeah.
that everybody can put 3 words that describe me after this, and then I will disclose what I think about those 3 words should be. So there is not, as always, there is not a right answer. It's only to see that what you think about what I have presented you.
So
How
guys,
would you describe those?
How would you describe Esther in 3 words after what she just shared with us? Well, let's see what the guys say. Maybe we can move to the next question, and then we see what the guys say, and decide if that's what you think, Esther, or not.
Perfect.
Yeah, I also wanted to say that don't worry at all. I don't feel that you don't have a strong accent, and second, accents are great. You know, they're a sign of experience and of different perspectives. And both you and we're speaking English, which is not our mother language, and it's amazing. I feel that we should not be afraid of the accents. So going back to our questions, and by the way, guys, I forgot to mention, so I have a couple of questions prepared for Esther, but it would be amazing if you actually put your questions also in the chat. So at the end, when we have 5 minutes, we can also ask Esther some of the things that you want to ask her. So my second question is, how has your professional experience at Oracle, at Adobe, the companies you mentioned, defined you as a person and also as the professional that you are today?
Thank you, Tania. So I would say I have tried to do the other way around. I have tried to define my professional career based on the person I am. And basically because I think that you succeed much more when you are in jobs where you feel attached to the principle and also where you feel that you can put most of your strength. So I've been always trying to be myself at work and be true to my values. What I've done is, as a person, I mentioned I like meeting different cultures. So what I've been always seeking is for roles where I could take that international position. Then another area that it's very important for me as a person is building win-to-win relationship. That's why I'm also being always looking for working on customer-facing and partner-facing roles. Then I love creativity. So again, I was always working in roles that allow me to put some new strategies in place. Teamwork is also another area that I really enjoy a lot. So I'm always trying to find job where I can promote it. And challenges in general, challenges is something that really appeal to me. So I have always been embracing roles that were breaking me out, of my comfort zone. So during the years that I've been learning, that I've been working, I've learned to be much more intentional in any step that I've been doing in my professional career, to try to drive myself, my own career, not to be where the companies are putting me, but being also where I'm feeling comfortable with. And I've also learned to say no. I think that's I don't know if it's a women thing or it depends on your character. Also, men can have difficulty to say no, but setting boundaries and saying no has been also difficult for me to learn, and I think I've been progressing a lot on that. And also in general, my professional career has also helped me to know me better, to identify which are my strengths and weaknesses. So always people around you and the experiences that you have make you the person that you are now. I can say I've been lucky to have a key person around me that has helped me a lot to grow, not only at work, but also at family and friends. Another, let's say, piece of advice from my side would be try to be more closer to those persons and try to avoid spending time with those persons that are consuming your energy, let's say.
Very good advice. Toxic people, let's say, right?
Yeah,
we have to steer away from. Very good advice. And also I love the part about saying no. This is I do feel that this is something some people, maybe mostly women, but not always, but have problems with. So yeah. Esther, I don't,
if you want to come back to the chat,
yes,
I've seen lovely things. Thank you, because you were a lot of participation on it. I would say that the three words that I was choosing, and most of the words that I saw in the chat are really valid to describe myself. But the three words that I choose was life-work balance. That's really the key aspect in my life and what is defining myself in every single day.
That's amazing. And can you elaborate a little bit about on that? How do you create this life-work balance in your everyday life?
Yeah, that's it's something that many times we speak in work-life balance when we are women, when we are mothers. So let's say it's even more complicated, but I think it's something that's applied to every single person, because it doesn't matter if you are alone, if you have or not have children. You have to think about your personal life and how you want to be in your life. So this is a continual learning for sure. This is something that you have to do for yourself and also advocate for others. So when I'm managing things, this is something that I always keep a lot of time to ensure that they can have this right balance. Even if I can say that in my life, I would love to have much more free time for my personal life, I can say that also I have managed to succeed in my personal professional balance, let's say, because at this time I have a professional life that I wanted to have, and I also living a joy fulfillment life, let's say. Some tips how I'm trying to keep this balance every day. Firstly, being intentional. You have to take control of your life. You have to take the needed time to get clarity about what is the priorities in your life. It can be self-care. It can be dedicate time with friends. It can be being a mother. It can be develop a hobby. No matter what is, you need to be very clear about what are your principal priorities that you have in life. Then set boundaries, and this is again about saying no and learning to say no. So once you set that boundary, be very clear with them, express them to everybody around you. So everybody know those moments where are your moments. You should keep them very strong, because if you don't fix those boundaries, and if you say yes one time, then it will be easier that your boundary, nobody will respect them. So keeping them is really important. For example, for me, that I told you, I'm a happy mother and I enjoy a lot being time with my children. I try to be in a job that has a flexible timetable. So I know that I have to work, for example, some evening nights, but on the other side, I can be always present in those important moments with my family. So that's something that the people who knows me know, that I will do the job, but I need that flexibility in order to continue with my top things in life. Another tip is maximize your time combining things and be laser focused in those things. And when I say combining things, for example, again, speaking about my children, I want to continue my self-care. I want to do some exercise, and I want to be with my daughter. So I discovered she loves dancing and I love dancing. So we go together, and I can do, let's say, two of my priorities at the same time. I can do self-care and at the same time spend time with my family. Or for example, on Friday, I took the lunch time to be with my husband so we can be together. Of course, lunch is something that you need to do also for self-care for yourself. And at the same moment, you are spending and enjoying the time with your husband, with your friend, what you want. So everybody knows that the Friday, it's the day where I'm not having meeting for lunch, and that I'm dedicating for myself. So it's giving you permission about stop saying yes to everything, and being so clear about what you have. Another things that helped me also a lot with the balance was giving me permission not to be number one in everything. And again, I don't know if it's a thing only for women. I think it's for all genders. But in general, I tend to try to be number one in everything. And that was really giving me a lot of problem with the quality of life. So you need to learn that you have some strengths and weakness, and accept as you are. Priorities can evolve over the time. So, for example, I was the balance of work-life balance. When before having children and having a family, I was taking international role. That was a must for me. If I was doing an interview, I was always asking, but can I travel? How much can I travel? And that was essential for me. After, when I had my family, I decided to park a little that international roles in order to give more room for my other personal priorities. But always, if you do intentional and if you do because that's your priority at that time, it's okay. Again, for example, now I'm coming back to international position thanks to this moment that we have today, where we don't have to travel so much. So there is always a moment for everything in your life. You just need to be very conscious about what you are doing in that moment is what you like. Of course, this balance has not always been easy. I have been building through the years. I remember when I have my first children, I really felt guilty about being a mother that was having a children and also working. And so I was trying to stay at that job for too long. I should have changed my job, but I didn't do because I was feeling guilty, and I thought I needed to give more to the company. And I regret when I look back not leaving that place before. So when I decided to leave that place, in the interview that I was doing for the following job, I was very clear, and I said, well, I have one son, and I want to have another children. So if you take me, you need to know that one day I can be pregnant. And it was great because they took me. I got pregnant quickly. They were really very, very nice with the situation. Yes, and I could develop myself in that company for long.
Well, that sounds amazing, Esther. I think there are so many different things that you touched upon, and myself, as I just recently become a mother, that's great advice. And I feel that for many women and also men here on this call, this is very good advice on how to create this balance, so you can still, advance in your career while not renouncing to motherhood, hobbies, personal kind of interests. I feel that is very important. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
We have one question from Vanessa in the chat. So, Esther, how have you aligned your personal goals and purpose with the different companies that you've worked for?
I think as long as you are having open conversation and that company allow you to be open, there is always that flexibility that they allow you to work in that balance. I mean, it's of course, if I'm taking some time with my children or I'm taking some time with friends, then I compensate the company taking additional time, as I was mentioning, maybe during evening or nights. So I always think it's a question of being very open, really speak very clearly about that. Otherwise, you can go in a mess because they don't understand why you are behaving in that way. The most open I've been with the company, the better I've been working and developing myself in those companies. You have to be very clear about your personal and also professional aspiration. You have to be very clear about I'm here today, but I would like to be there in a couple of years. I'm here today because I don't want to travel because my children still are very young, but in 2 years I want to work to develop myself in that area. So I think it's speaking clearly. You always find that flexibility, or my experience, I've always find that flexibility in the companies. And if you don't find it, maybe it's not the right way to stay.
Yeah, I completely agree. I actually remember I saw this email tagline for someone, I don't remember now whom, and they were emailing maybe late in the night, and this was actually a woman. And she said, after her signature, it said something like, while it suits me to email you at this hour, I don't expect an immediate reply. And I thought it was brilliant. It's actually about flexibility. It was a woman, and I actually happen to know that she has 2 children. So I actually thought that maybe, she just spent an afternoon or evening with her children, and she is emailing me at 11 at night. But that's about flexibility, right?
I'm exactly having the same sentence in the signature, because I'm always set a clear expectation with my team, and I tell them I'm not expecting you to reply or to be connected at that time. It's I prefer to disconnect sometime in the afternoon to have time with my family, and then I reconnect. So you should do the same in your side.
Exactly.
Vanessa, did I reply to your question, or do you want some more clarification or something different? You were expecting something different.
Yeah, excuse the mess. Moving house. So yeah, I was thinking more in terms of when you join a company and the company has a kind of clear purpose and goals within the company, and how you maybe interpret that in towards the goals in your aspirations, because that will change depending on the company you are with, right?
I think the moment of the interviews are the moments where you need to clarify that very well before going into that company, if it fits you in both ways, because it always has to be, in everything in life, a win-win relationship. So if that company is offering not goals that suit you well, again, I think it's better to take more time than to do wrong decision.
Completely agree. Okay. Another question that I had was about challenges, because I think that all of us, sometimes we face some challenges. So can you speak a little bit about what were the challenges you have been involved in, and how did you get out of your comfort zone?
For here, when I speak about challenges, I always love a phrase from Einstein. I don't know if you are familiar with the definition of insanity from Einstein. And he is saying that the insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and trying to have different results. And that's something that I'm really applying every day when I speak about challenges. I love that phrase, and I try to keep it very present. If you want to learn, if you want to grow, to improve, to change your roles in the companies, you need to be out of your comfort zone, so you do things differently. Otherwise, you will keep always doing the same kind of role and activity that you are doing. And that's the way that I embrace a challenge, to be out of my comfort zone, to learn and to grow myself. Some challenges that I have in my career: becoming a manager too quickly. I can say now that I was not ready at that moment. I took the challenge. I grew from that challenge, but I was too young to have that management position, because I was managing people much more senior than myself. So as you can imagine, I was not feeling very comfortable with that position. But again, it helped me to learn. It helped me to understand what I should be doing and I didn't do, and what I did well, and also to better know me as a manager. Then challenges that have helped me a lot, also horizontal changes. I think in the past we were always thinking about, okay, then you are an individual contributor, then you become a manager, a senior manager, a director. And I think that's not longer applying as the only way to grow yourself. I've grown myself a lot doing horizontal changes. So even if I was the director from sales, changing to being director of partners or changing to be director of consulting helped me a lot, because at the end you are learning other departments in your company and you are learning different functions. So horizontal changes. Also, I have taken challenges of being a director, managing a team of 40 people, and then becoming an individual contributor again. Because again, being individual contributor or manager, there is two different roles of growing. It's not one is over the other or is better than the other. I always think that if you are challenging yourself and that you are in a position that you enjoy, then it doesn't matter if you are managing much or less people, or if you are individual contributor. Again, it's a thing of what you enjoy doing, what are your strengths, and try to be in those kind of positions.
Definitely, definitely. I also feel that you can learn everywhere. So let's just, if everyone can, let's just take 2 minutes, because Henrik also had a question. So it would be nice to hear from also a man in a place where there are so many women. So go on, Henrik.
Thank you. First of all, thanks a lot, Esther. Very rewarding, and also I like the perspective that you have to change from one thing to another, and that is actually the foundation for my question. Some of the best, if not the majority of the best salespeople I've met within software and tech have all been women. And when I say all, but a lot of the majority. I think it makes perfect sense. It's not just features and functionalities, but it's rather, okay, if you embrace this software, this technology, what you can get out of it, the value. Yet, when I've been recruiting for salespeople, 19 out of 20 applying for a job have been men. So I've struggled to personally, when I say attract women talent in the software industry. What's your take on that? I mean, because if we look at it, go to an event and you see a software event, you've been with Oracle and Adobe, well, 85% are men, you know, in dark suit and tie. Let me tell you about how fantastic we are and our software and the features and functionalities. And why is that way? Why is it so hard to attract good talent when we clearly see all of the benefits of that?
Thank you for the question. Very good question. And I completely agree with your point, because I face the same situation every time I open a recruitment process. And I see that I don't never want to go in to say, okay, we need to have women if they are the best and men if they are the best. It's not one or the other, but I would like as you to see some more balance on that. I think one of the points is that in general, we think as women that the software companies in general or technology companies in general are very demanding, time-consuming companies. So I think it's again about that keeping that balance, life work, that we think that when we enter in a software company, you cannot have it. And it's true that we work long hours. If you compare with other sector, much longer hours than other sector. But again, if we continue working in the market to show that, by contrary, you have a flexibility that you don't have in other companies, that could help a lot in general to attract more women. So we are working also as Adobe many initiatives on this about women, and I think it's showing them that you will have that flexibility that you don't have in other company, you don't have in that kind of company where you have a fixed timetable. So it's true that you finish and you don't take a job to home. But on the other side, I can tell you personally that I've been taking my children from school when they were young every single day. And I couldn't be doing that if I was a doctor or if I was working in a shop or any other thing. So I think we need to show about the flexibility, that's a balance with the long hours that we have to work in this kind of companies. Also, there is another point that I think women in general, we are very exigent with ourselves, and sometimes we think we are not ready for something. Maybe we think that is this technical aspect, we don't feel very comfortable selling technology. So I think also in that point, for me, it's been easy to recruit women inside the company that they already feel comfortable with being in a technical environment, that taking someone from outside, that they think that the technology is too much of a main conversation, let's say. So I normally, when I do that interviews, I try to emphasize those aspects about selling technology is like selling a car or selling any other thing. Of course, you have to have some basic knowledge, but there are other areas like pre-sales expert that can help you. But in general, yes, I recognize it's something that we in general need to work in the market, because again, we have a lot of sales women, but it's easier to attract them when they are inside the company than when they came from outside.
Good point. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Esther.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Esther, for spending this long half an hour with us. I feel, for me, at least, this has been amazing, and the advice that you have given us is really good, because you've worked with big software vendors, but still you have managed to find that work-life balance and be a happy mother, a happy wife, a happy friend, for sure. So for me, this has been very helpful and useful, and I'm sure for our guests as well. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much for all of you for attending. You can find me on LinkedIn, or you can contact me through Tanya. Please feel free. I'm more than happy if I can be of any kind of help with the experience that I'm sharing.
Thank you, Esther. We will definitely will. Thank you, and bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.